Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GameRant.com. I'm Anthony Taormina, editor-in-chief of the website. It's mailbag time. All right, it's a very exciting time for me. We've been building towards this moment for what feels like a year now. It's finally here. It's a big moment. So Razer has sent us the next step on their kind of controller evolution. If you've been following along with the mailbag, we've been doing a few different pieces on the different controllers that Razer has released over the last year or so, starting with the Wolverine V3 Pro. Just recently, the Wolverine V3 Pro 8K for PC. And now, as you might have guessed or might have hoped, and I was certainly hoping, they are... Suspense. They are releasing a PlayStation version. Yes. And I know what you're saying. A lot of people prefer, the offset sticks, the Xbox control scheme on their controllers, but I just like the PlayStation. So I was hoping when they announced the Wolverine V3 Pro that they would eventually come out with a PlayStation 5 version. Whenever I would talk with PR, they would tease it and say like, yeah, we're making something that I think you'll be happy with. It's finally here. So this is the Raiju V3 Pro. So this is kind of the Team Blue version of the Wolverine V3 Pro. And this is a PlayStation 5 controller. It has a lot of the same bells and whistles as the Wolverine V3 Pro, but some changes, some cool things, and one omission that I think some people will probably be disappointed in, but that's the nature of licensing a controller from Sony. Let's get into it. Let's open it up. There's your back of the box look. Yeah, so you've got the TMR sticks. So I think, you had Hall Effect was the new hotness. We've been talking about that with controllers. TMR is now the newest, latest, best technology to get your anti-stick drift joysticks to make sure that nothing funny is happening with those sticks. So this is a TMR based joystick controller. Let's see. All right, ready for the grand review? There it is. I couldn't even see it. All right, in the nice case. So as with previous versions of Razer's controllers, it does come in a nice smooth case. It is rounded. You know how I feel about the rounded cases. They're harder to stack, but it does look nice and it will carry well regardless. Now let's zip it up or unzip it. Get into the controller. That's, yeah. All right, so I do happen to have both my other Razers here. So this is the V3 Pro. This is the white one. It has the Xbox icon and it's sort of geared towards Xbox. And then this is the Wolverine V3 Pro 8K for PC. This is the one that has the 8,000 hertz polling, no rumble in it. So it is rumbleless, but it is also like the most responsive of the controllers. I've actually used both of them when, my family and I, our friends come over and we play. We all use these, and I've actually been using this one a lot. One of my favorite things about these controllers that I've told you before is being able to program the back buttons on these on the fly, which is super nice. Being able to just hit this circular button, tap one of the back buttons and say, I want that to be A because I'm jumping a lot in this game. Or I don't want to hold down the left stick to sprint, so I want to make one of these buttons that, or I want to make one of them dodge. Just being able to set it based on the game you're playing in the moment versus setting up profiles, which you can do. You can go in Razer Synapse and you can fine tune all of those things like your dead zones and joysticks and things like that. But I am very much I would like this to be that, and having the ability to do that is super nice. And that carries on into the Raiju V3 Pro. So this is the symmetrical sticks. So I know a previous iteration of the Raiju, they went very controversially did the asymmetrical sticks, and everyone was like, why are you making a PlayStation controller without symmetrical sticks? They've gone back to the symmetrical sticks. So you've got symmetrical sticks there. You've got your PlayStation face buttons. These are similar to the 8K Pro. These are the PBT. They got the clickiness. I love me the clicky mouse-like buttons. Same with the back buttons. Hopefully you can hear them. It's just such a nice feel to them. And then it also has the touchpad. Before burying the lead, the one thing that this doesn't have, it doesn't have the haptics that your DualSense controller has. So you're not gonna get that kind of very specific rumble that you get on a DualSense controller, and that's Razer mentioned. It's part of the licensing with Sony. They must have said, no, you can't. And you know, fair game. You know, maybe they want people to do the DualSense. I like my PlayStation controllers for PC gaming. I've talked about how I like to game on my couch with my PC, so no complaints there. You've got your HyperSense triggers. You can toggle them to be instantaneous clicks, or you can toggle them to be full throw. You've got all the fun stuff that you would expect out of a PlayStation 5 controller. But these two, they have these back buttons, but this one, they're actually removable. I don't know specifically how to do that. We're gonna go through that process, but there is, like, you can see in there like a little lip. So I think you can pop them off somehow. We'll get into that. I will show you. So you've got a USB-A dongle, and then you've also got a domed stick and a taller stick. Some people like the precision of a taller joystick on like their left joystick. Some people just like the short ones. I like them stock, but everybody has their own preference. So they do give you that in the case, which is a nice touch. And you also get your USB-C to USB-A cable. This one not braided. Interesting. It's a smooth cable. I wonder why that is. I'm not too sure about that. I want to make sure that I do this properly. Oh, you get some stickers. I want to make sure that I do this properly. Okay, so you remove the multifunction back buttons. Interesting. So yeah, essentially what you're able to do is like make these flush. I don't really mind it. I like how my fingers rest and being able to hit that. But some people, you know, maybe your fingers, you want them to be a little more flush, or you accidentally hit it. Obviously, you know, the feeling would be, why not just not program it for something that you don't use it for? But everybody has their personal preference. So there's, you can see there's like a little covering. There's a little covering on each of them, and then there is it's so tiny that it's kind of hard to show, but there's a little screw in there. And then you would go in here. I don't really want to do it, but I'm gonna do it just so you guys can see, because I like these back buttons. And then when you unscrew it, you have to go a bit farther. So then you unscrew it, and that is your back button. And then there is, are they in here? Where are they? Are they in somewhere? There's something. Or do you flip it over? There's supposed to be covers. Here they are. Okay, so inside where your USB-C, there are covers. So this is there's long and short, so you want long. So then you have a covering here on this guy, and then you can put it and set it up there. I'm just gonna undo this, but I want you guys to be able to see what you can do, and I think this is like a nice touch. Maybe they'll add it to the V3 Pro in a future model or update or something like that. But you can just go in here, screw it back in, put it flush, and then hopefully you can see that like this side is perfectly, well, mostly flush. That covering, it can maybe, if your finger slides up, but you could take all of these out. You could leave only two. You can do whatever you want. And I think that that's a nice little add-on. I don't really get it necessarily, like why you would want not to have the back buttons. I think that's one of the cool things about these like third party is that they add the back buttons and add things like that. You do have these toggles, which are not on any of the other controllers. So there's a toggle to say, hey, this is gonna be PlayStation 5 or PC, and then wired or wireless. You can do this wireless. This has that little turtleneck that the 8K for PC controller had that the V3 Pro doesn't have. So that, I think it's a consideration for the cable, just so it like doesn't get jostled. And then you also have the claw buttons. And one of the things that they talked about in kind of introducing this controller to me, but that I've known about since I've been using these controllers, is even though I don't hold a controller with the claw grip, I still can find myself like with my fingers resting on the bumpers here, being able to hit these and have these be like something useful, whether it's like a D-pad press or anything like that. They're super instantaneous, clicky. And so you actually have, you know, your bumpers, you have your triggers, and then you have these. So like a reload or a, you know, a jump or something that you might want to toggle on here for a different type of game. Obviously for like shooters, you want to use these bad boys for like your reload and your jump and stuff, so you don't take your fingers off of the sticks and have to hit A or X in the case of PlayStation. Oh, what have I done? Blasphemy. So yeah, there's choice there. And then you also got the touchpad. I'm gonna spend a lot of time playing with this bad boy. I am super excited about this. I've been waiting a while for this. There's something about the symmetrical sticks that just feels better for me on a lot of games, especially shooters. I think maybe it's just because I spent a lot of time playing like Destiny and things like that on PlayStation that my, I don't know, muscle memory favors the symmetrical sticks versus the asymmetrical sticks. That being said, I do love these controllers. I think these are still fantastic controllers. And if you are one of those people that prefers the asymmetrical, either the V3 Pro or the AK for PC are still fantastic, and I highly recommend them. They're some of the best controllers available now, if not the best. It depends on your personal preference and things like that, but I like this a lot. And it does, I think, have rumble. It just doesn't have haptics. Maybe it has no rumble, because this one is heftier. These feel about the same weight-wise, and this one also, the AK for PC, has no rumble in it as well. I'll have to test it out. I'll share more on social media and probably in a written thing on the site. So yeah, by the time you're watching this, this is now available for purchase. It's $219.99. It's available on Razer's website. You can pick it up. I think this is probably gonna be my favorite controller. I'll be honest, I've been using this one a lot. I miss the rumble. So I think this one, the V3 Pro, is my current favorite. The loss of the haptics might make me sad about this one, but I don't know. I'll have to see. I do like the being able to program the back buttons and things like that. I will say when I use the PlayStation 5 Pro or PlayStation 5, I have a DualSense Edge, and I also enjoy that one. So we'll see how this competes with that as well. They're both premium controller. They're both in the $200+ range. You are paying a premium there, but I like them a lot. And so I'm gonna test these out. Again, this is the Raiju V3 Pro from Razer. By the time you're watching this, it's available now. Thank you so much for watching though. I've been Anthony Taormina. Thank you to Razer for sending us the controller, letting us get hands-on time with it. I don't really know what the next mountain to climb for Razer is. I've been waiting for this PlayStation 5, but we'll see. Maybe there'll be a Raiju AK for PC. We'll see. That's gonna do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.